We're live.
We're live. Not that anybody is listening right now, but we are
We gotta
live.
wait for people to file in. How's everybody doing?
All right, all right.
It's
It's
the,
episode 50.
it is episode 50 of Mike Up the Halo. It is indeed.
We've
Are
made
we?
it to 50 episodes. I
The
am a
average podcast lasts 7 episodes.
Is that true?
That is true.
I did not know that.
Yep. So we have made it well past that. I celebrated when we got to episode 8 myself. It was better than episode 8 of Star Wars. Tyler, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Jacob. This is
You're lying to me
this
to
is
my
this
face.
is episode 50 of Mike Up the Halo.
Yep.
Once again, I'm very happy. I am Tyler, and of course, here is Jacob. And normally I ask him how he's doing, so I'll go ahead and ask him right now. Jacob, how the hell are you?
I'm in shambles. No, I'm happy. I'm happy. The Angels did what they needed to do. They took care of business today. We were having a garage sale here in Anaheim, and other teams did well, not to mention anybody in specific. We'll get to all that. We do have producer Ivan along today as well. Ivan, how are you?
Not good, but I'm here.
He's not happy about the trades. We'll get into all that. We'll see all of you file in the chat once we fire up here. Are we live? It's going, right?
We are officially live.
Making
We're
sure
going.
that everything's going fine.
We've been going for a minute now, a minute strong.
You never know technical difficulties, so yeah. Sellers, man.
We're
We called
sellers.
it. We called it.
We're the most. I wouldn't say like we've sold the most, but I mean, to basically make it straightforward, if you're not a buyer at the trade deadline, then you're having a bad time. And we're having a bad time. We've been having a bad time since the losing streak started, and we're continuing to have a bad time by losing 3 players who I wouldn't say they're household names or staples of any sort, but it's sad to see them go nonetheless.
I'm not happy about one of them in particular, but the other two I kind of understand, and I understand all three from the perspective. I mean, if we didn't do anything at this deadline and we just stayed stagnant, I think I would have been more upset. So I can't be mad about it. At least Perry was realistic, right, and was not trying to do some fake half sell, half buy like we still have a chance garbage. We're out of it. We're done. We've been done. We've been saying we're done. We're cooked. We're a gray steak on the barbecue. Overdone.
I think the only saving grace for Perry is that he acknowledges that this year is a bust, and he takes responsibility for that. And I mean, you got to kind of give it to him, because at the beginning of the season, we were all convinced that we were going to be okay.
Yeah.
The pitching, it
Yeah.
seemed like that was resolved. The bullpen, it seemed like that was resolved. The depth of infielders was okay when we were winning, but then it immediately backfired on us once the losing started. And now none of those guys play. The depth that we did acquire, they're hardly playing at all. Tyler Wade is no longer with us. Andrew Velasquez maybe plays once or twice a week at that.
He looked like he was going to pan out, and it just didn't work. There was nothing at the plate, so. And we don't have supplemental offense from other positions, so we can't afford to even have a shortstop that doesn't hit. You know what I mean? Like, we need to get more depth. Perry did say that today. But as you're defending Perry, I'm going to play the other side of the coin. Is he not saying the same thing 15 times this season? Has he not said the same thing over and over since, Madden got fired, essentially?
I can't disagree with you on that. Again, it's like when someone gets caught doing something wrong, they can acknowledge that you're right, you caught me red-handed. I accept that. And some people will be like, you know what? At least you know that you did something wrong. But in this case with Perry, he's done a lot of things wrong since joining the organization. Stuff that we expected him to fix has not been fixed. And granted, he has attempted to fix it. This trade deadline makes me lose hope on the future of Perry Manazian and what to expect from him, because sure, we got a top catcher prospect. Sure, we took off the amount of money that we were paying Noah Syndergaard and Raisel Iglesias, but the return is awful. And that comes with making a team take on the rest of that money. So it kind of makes sense. Like these deals make perfect sense to me. Originally, I was upset. I was overreacting about it, but like after really sitting down, digesting it and understanding why these moves were made, it makes sense why they happened, whether they're good for the team or not. And as of right now, we can all agree that they're not good for the team. Aside
For
from
the
the money,
season.
but yes, it's for the season.
Right. No, I think Syndergaard was a no-brainer. Kind of made sense to me that he was going to go. And Iglesias, I feel like, as far as Angel fans, and I can poll here, we got 3 people here, so we should have a vote that isn't a tie. Are we in on Iglesias at this part of the season? Would you want that deal to carry out at 3 years at the amount that he's making? I know what my vote is. My vote is no. I've been out.
Well, you've been out. You've
I've
been
been
out
out.
since Chicago, since the first blown save.
I'll be honest, I didn't even come back in after last year. I may have come back in a little bit this year. I was like, okay, he's feeling it because the team was winning. He was closing most of those games. It was making sense. As soon as Chicago happened, you're right. We just have bad luck with that team. We have bad luck with the south side of Chicago.
I mean, there's history there.
2005 comes to mind.
Yeah, 2005, AJ Przinsky, jump off a cliff, please. There's a lot of things that could be said about Chicago. They're a completely different team now.
Any clips in Chicago?
They're ran by Tony La Russa, who
He fell asleep last night.
He fell asleep last night in the first inning, but prior to him joining that club, he was part of the Angels front office. And
Yes,
I don't
he
know
was.
if that gives him any sort of advantage to be able to divulge, like, hey, here's what you need to know about the Angels
Of
and
course
how
it
we can
does.
beat them.
Here's what you need to know. Artie Moreno owns the team. They're going to be easy to beat after May 31st or whatever it is. Last year, May 5th. Hey, next year it might be June 25th. We might make it through June next year. We might win 50 games and then all of a sudden shit the bed. So as long as we progress, a month every year. Come on, Halo fans. A couple years down the road, Mike Trout's 38 and we win a World Series. No. I agree with you. Iglesias was the interesting one. Marsh, too, because of the years of control. The amount of time he has under control from the Major League team. Being as young as he is, being as close to Adele as he is, as bad as Joe Adele has been this year, let's just get out there. We know there's some Joe Adele stan people. Is that what the kids are saying?
At Joe
Oh,
Show
we got
Adele, please stop tweeting, delete your account.
He's one of them.
You're terrible.
Apparently, our producer's another one. He just raised his hand. Let's hear your input here.
I don't know. I guess I had faith in him. I was like, he'll turn around. He's kind of a roller coaster. Like sometimes he's like, hey, sometimes it's like, fuck. But I don't know. I still believe in him for some reason. I'm a little positive.
Between him and Marsh, though, you're
No.
Marsh strikes out.
You were sad when I told you that when we were discussing earlier. You were sad that I explained to you why it's okay that Marsh left, and you were still upset about it.
Just because to me it was more of an emotional thing than anything. Like I don't really get valuations yet of players and teams or whatever, but just watching them in the outfield and all that, like I like them a lot. I really.
He's a gazelle out there.
Yes, dude.
Yeah.
He made sick plays.
Yep.
I think he made sick plays. I know his offense wasn't really there, but just I don't know. I like seeing it.
Tyler said something the other night that I think we can all agree on. If we could combine Marsh and Adele into one player, that'd be the ultimate prospect for the Angels.
Whether or not they'd be ultimate is debatable. I think they'd be average because when you're combining somebody
For a prospect?
listen, when you're combining two really good players, one who happens to be an okay hitter and the other an okay hitter, awful at defense, and you're combining them with a person who is excellent at defense but a mediocre hitter, you're going to get the dictionary definition of average.
See, we're looking at it differently. I think that's why. I was looking at it as you take Marsh's defense and Adele's offense and put it into one player, not the average of the
Okay.
two of them. So I think we just see it differently.
Best case scenario, then yeah, you get
That's what I mean.
the
If you
excellence of Marsh's defense, and then you get the excellence of Joe Adele's highest potential of offense.
essentially pretend that Marsh hits like Adele and plays defense like Marsh, or the
Right.
other way around. If
Right.
it's a righty, then it's Adele hitting, but with Marsh's defense. Maybe they'd have just the beard or the hair. I don't know if they'd have both or none. Adele's got that goatee going on now. Does he not look 32 years old? Or is it just me? Does he look 32? He looks like Will Smith and iRobot.
I have
Like,
bad news to share with Angels fans. Since before the All-Star break, I have not been watching any games. And I mean, I'll admit this to all of you, to everybody watching,
the guy in the
all
Angels jersey.
to all one of you. We had like in the past, Jacob and I, even before we started this podcast, we'll talk about Angels baseball and stuff. And Jacob will be like, dude, I don't even care anymore. I'm not watching. Season's over, blah, blah, blah. And I'll be like, that's cool, man. I'm going to watch every single game.
Mhm.
I don't care. I'm watching every single game. I love this team. Doesn't matter. I've come to the point where I'm where Jacob has been, where you get to a certain point in the season and it's like, how can I keep watching this team? And with the trades made today, like we'll explain it a little later, like the details and the specifics, but like how can you keep watching this team when your own GM basically admits through an interview that we're going to get it together next year. This year's a complete wash. We're not even like, yeah, we're a little over halfway, but we could have done something at the trade deadline. We could have done a lot at the trade deadline if we really wanted to win this year. And we didn't even bother to do that. We have Shohei Ohtani on the team who was being tossed around in trade speculation and trade talks. And thankfully, that didn't come to fruition for us. But at some point, Shohei is going to leave the team, especially because he's been here this long. Nothing's happened. He could look at an example, a key example of someone that's been here that has been as good as he has, which I think eventually Shohei will be better. But Mike Trout has been here for X amount of time, has not done anything other than 2014 as far as making the playoffs go, and looks like that's going to be the same way. Unless we make a splash this offseason, and we keep saying that every offseason, unless we do something this offseason, then that's when stuff is going to happen, and it doesn't. I mean, even right now, like we have the Angel game on right now. Taylor Ward, there was a pass ball on the catcher. Taylor Ward just got thrown out at second because he took a terrible jump off of first base. Taylor Ward's not a speed guy, but when there's a pass ball and you get a good jump, then you should be able to easily make it to second base, no problem. But this is the type of team that Shohei's playing with, and you can see the frustration in him. There's cameras all over Shohei, whether it's from Bally Sports West, whether it's from a Japanese news organization. They're going to show you Shohei
Oh, they
being
got the good cameras.
extremely frustrated with the fucking team, dude. He's not staying here. He's not staying here, and I don't blame him. I wish he was, but he's not.
You're calling it now. He's not staying
He's not.
after
No
next
shot.
season. Okay.
No shot. Artie Moreno can give him all the money in the world, and it's not going to happen.
If I just finished saying before we hopped on, if the Angels don't make any moves in the offseason prior to the winter meetings, he's not going to stay at the end of next year. I think it'll be the same thing next year, sort of riding it through. Who's going to be our manager? We're going to get into all that later. Today's not about that. Today's about the trades. I think we should jump into the 3 trades the Angels have made today, or the 3 main players on the move quickly. I mean, we kind of briefed over them a little bit. Thoughts on all 3 together? It's like, yeah, we're going to sell. It makes sense. I don't really understand any other route that we could take. We're not going to buy, and if we stood still, like I said, it wouldn't be good either. I don't know. Marsh,
Well, yeah, I was about to say.
go ahead. Hop on the mic.
Starting off with the trades and Brandon Marsh. So Phillies get David Robertson from Cubs, Brandon Marsh from Angels, right?
Yeah. Phillies are making their push, right? Can we say that they're making their push to get in that wild card spot? We know they're not winning that division. We know it's the Braves or the Mets. I think Philly's a team that could kind of like get on a hot streak and get in the playoffs and just bang. You know, the pitching is where the problem is. I'm surprised they didn't make any moves besides Syndergaard for a starter. Is that a little shocking? To my knowledge, they didn't at least.
I don't see Noah Syndergaard being an upgrade to their team. And, like, I love Thor,
No, yeah.
like, as a personality. And when he has a good amount of offense behind him, it's still scary. You're going to Philadelphia, buddy. You're going to get that offense, but the defense is going to be basically the same as you're getting here in Anaheim. It's as if you didn't go anywhere other than being on the East Coast. I think Thor is a really good guy. I like that he's already embraced the personality of Philadelphia. His header's already the cast of Sunny in Philadelphia. He's already got the Phillies uniform on in his profile pic. His info or his bio and Twitter says it's always sunny. ... I mean,
He did the same thing for us.
he's just got a great personality, man. And I wish that we can keep individuals like that. And I wish that they could succeed, especially here in Anaheim. But for whatever reason, it just doesn't happen. Like, we're cursed to some degree. I mean, I'm going to miss Thor. I'm going to miss Rysel because when Rysel was locked in, he was great.
Yeah.
But he hasn't been great, and he hasn't been great for a while. So, like, it's fine that we got rid of that contract. It's fine that we got rid of Thor's contract. But for the players that we got back, I am not happy.
Well, okay, let me jump into the Rysel contract then real quick. Do you think, because I mean Perry signed him to that deal. It wasn't like it was a deal that Perry stumbled into the team and oh, we got this closer signed for 3 seasons, right? Like he signed that deal 6 months ago, right? I was at work when that deal got done. I remember. I was thinking, okay, we got Rysel back.
Everybody in
This could be good. This could be bad.
every Angels fan was so happy that we were able to keep Rysel.
It was
because
like we got
everyone was crying that we hadn't signed him up until we finally did. They were
Yeah.
like, "We're gonna let Rysel walk," blah blah blah. And imagine if we did let him walk, and he did have this inevitable blow up that happened, being with other teams. How all of us would have been like, "We dodged a bullet."
yeah.
But
And we may say that starting next season, and the Braves too. Interesting place for him, in my opinion, because of the Kenley Jansen stuff. Is something going on with Jansen that I don't know about, or do they not have a closer? I mean, they took both closers out of Southern California. It's kind of funny, when you think about it. They got Trevor Hoffman coming next. I mean, what's going on? What's going on with the Braves and their closer? I mean, the bullpen. Who'd they lose? Will Smith, right? He's done. He left Atlanta. So maybe that's kind of a replacement there. I guess you could see Rysel as a setup guy going back to the National League. Different division, but going back to the NL because he came from Cincinnati, right? So that could have something to, do with it. If the American League figured him out as quickly as it seemed like they did over here, blowing games to the Oakland Athletics, I mean, what else can you say?
I feel like Rysel will definitely end up a setup guy for the Atlanta Braves.
Okay.
I have breaking news, guys,
Uh-oh.
and it's a real downer. I genuinely actually want to cry because of the news, and I mean you'll actually see it right in front of you.
Oh, no.
It's terrible
Oh, my
for baseball,
goodness.
and it's something that I did not expect to happen today. I mean, I knew it was going to happen at some point, but
Oh, my. You just read this?
I just read it, and
no.
it's on our screen right now.
You guys.
Legendary broadcaster Vin Scully, famously known to be the Dodgers
Oh, my
broadcaster,
goodness.
has passed away. And I mean, he lived a long life. He did a lot of great things, but man, I'm getting chills.
I'm
Like,
getting,
I-
I'm tearing up here. That's crazy, man.
today was
Of
supposed
all
to be,
days, yeah.
like this is supposed to be a day where we're, clowning on ourselves, but also, like acknowledging that other teams are going to be better, and that's great and
Oh
all.
my
But
goodness.
honestly, if this happened any other day, this would be an episode in itself.
We would
So,
jump on, and there's respect there. I mean, I grew up watching the Dodgers play. It was the only voice I knew watching baseball. I always wished that he was the Angels announcer. When the Angels played the Dodgers, he always had nice things to say about the Angels players. I remember he loved Vladdy. He just thought it was so funny when he would swing at a ball 4 feet outside the zone, and hit balls that bounced before the plate. He told stories. The guy would tell a story that would take me 20 minutes to tell in 30 seconds. He just knew how to talk. Never had a partner. Never needed a partner. You know what I mean? He never wanted somebody in the booth with him. Man, that is nuts that it dropped while we were here. The news. That's very sad. And he would have been, do some quick math here. Would have been 95 years old.
definitely in his 90s.
Yeah,
I can't-
1927. I can do that math.
I can't give you an exact date, but
Yeah, it's 95. or-
27 to 22. So yeah, 95. That's
Wow.
insane, man.
Very sad that he retired the year before the World Series victory for the Dodgers. And Mickey Mouse, call it what you want, but the Dodgers won the World Series in 2020, and Vince Scully didn't get to do the play-by-play and announcing. So that was kind of sad. I thought they'd bring him in there for a game. But he did 1988, so your last real World Series. Sorry, got to take one shot, but that's very sad. It's a bummer. Huge bummer at the end of the trade deadline day.
Take a moment of silence here
Yeah.
for Vin because all right, back to fun stuff.
How are we supposed to jump back in? That's
man,
it's difficult. Should we move on with the list of trades?
let's start talking about other teams because
Yeah.
things can only get worse talking about the Angels. So
I think there was an orange guy we wanted to talk about. Yes, sir.
yeah, so Trey Mancini. I mean, right when this deal broke, I texted Jacob as soon as possible, and I was like, it sucks that one of the greatest people, like as a person in baseball, has to go to one of the worst organizations.
Yeah.
And that's terrible.
It is terrible. I said that he was a fan of the color orange, which is what makes the most sense. I mean, it's the only logical explanation. No, I mean, it wasn't his choice.
Yeah.
It wasn't his choice. It was a
Business is
trade.
business, especially in baseball. So
He sees it as finally going to a team that's going to make the postseason. Got to give him credit there. I think he will be a factor. Something that I don't think anybody's really brought up when it comes to this trade. I mean, Yuri Gurriel.
Yuli,
Sorry.
Yuli,
I'm trying to say it right.
Yulieski, full name.
Yulieski Gurriel.
Yeah.
What's the deal with Gurriel? Because he is their everyday guy at this point. I guess Brantley's not coming back is what I heard, so I guess it could be like a Gurriel DH situation, but obviously the DH spot, I mean, Jordan is going to take that up most nights. He can play some outfield. His defense is not as bad as people like to make it out to be. If I had to pick one player to be a fan of on the Astros, not including the newly, added Trey Mancini, who I'm a fan of to begin with, it'd be Yordan Alvarez. I mean, I'm a fan of the guy. He wasn't a part of the cheating teams. He came up in 2020. He was the deserving All-Star American League DH start this year. Shohei got it, popularity deal. I'm a big fan of Yordan. I was bummed when they locked him up. I would love to have seen him go to another team so I could root for him. But it just kind of is like, okay, so they're a little overloaded now at first base and DH because I don't think Mancini can play anywhere else. Dude, they keep showing Vince Scully on the screen. I'm getting upset. Okay. Sorry. They're not going to be able to put Mancini anywhere else. I don't think Gurriel can play anywhere else. So those two are the DH then back and forth, it seems like to me. And Jordan's got to play left field every day. I don't think that's good for his game.
I believe Gurriel is able to play second base if needed.
Oh, but they have a second baseman.
You're right. They do have a second baseman.
That short guy.
And Mancini is able to play right field. I think he could play any spot in the outfield if needed. You got guys that you can DH. You can give so and so a day off if ever needed. I think Mancini will be used as platoon in Houston rather than everyday starter.
Man, when you platoon your first base as Gurriel and Mancini, that's a winning ball club. I'm sorry, cheating or not.
They got a great organization. They got Justin Verlander, who's having a career year coming back from Tommy John. So,
excuse me, what is his ERA? 1.8.
1.4.
Oh my
1.4
God.
something, man. He's 14-3, 1.4. Like, he's having a career year. He basically has a brand new arm to pitch with for who knows how long. He wants to pitch till he's 45. He might go beyond that with his brand new arm.
Somebody gave him the Winter Soldier arm to go out there and throw.
Exactly.
I mean, I'd love to say good for him.
I mean,
What-
fuck it, good for him.
I mean,
like he wasn't with them forever. Like,
He was with him when it mattered.
whether or not
He didn't hit. He didn't
he
hit.
didn't hit. So I mean, like,
I love that argument. Well, he didn't swing the bat, so I mean, he didn't cheat. I'm just like, yeah. You don't think he knew about the trash?
it's like
can?
Lance McCullers going out there and pitching a game.
Okay,
and
hold
he does
up,
well,
hold up.
and he does well in it, and then he comes back out on Twitter after the game, was like, "This one was for H-Town," and it's like,
Oh, man.
"Fuck you, you piece of shit."
I actually like McCullers, but
See, that's where you and I are two completely different.
you
people.
like Verlander, but McCullers
Verlander-
wasn't there in 17. McCullers wasn't there in 17. Verlander was there. I don't know. That's just how I look at it. I see Verlander on the Tigers. Love him. Give me Verlander on the Tigers 2012 every day.
Lance
Was it the
McCullers
Cy
is
Young?
a fucking douchebag.
Oh man, McCullers got the hair going. I don't know. If I had to pick 2 Astros to be a fan of, now 3 with Mancini, I'd say Trey Mancini, Jordan, and Lance McCullers Jr. But I don't know. Hopefully they get knocked out.
Jacob,
Early.
Lance McCullers was there.
Was he?
Yes.
He wasn't pitching.
He's been
though.
there since 2015.
Okay, then
He
maybe it
pitched
was
in
with the
22
squad.
games in 2017.
I don't think he. Okay, then the playoffs. I don't think he pitched because that's
But
when
he was with the
he
team
was with the
when
team.
it was
yeah,
going
yeah.
on.
When it was going on. That's fair.
Justin Verlander didn't get to the team till halfway through the season.
But I just remember him in those postseason games where
Come
it was bang,
on.
bang, bang, bang.
Come on.
Well, then both of them are in the same boat. I
Yes.
mean, it is what it is. I give McCullers the edge because he has time to turn his career around, and get his reputation back. Whereas Verlander, the reputation he had got tarnished. It's a little. I think it's a little
he's
different.
fine.
I think he's fucking 59 years old throwing 98. So good for him. I have to admit that's good for him.
He's all right.
Maroon 5 is his backup, so it's okay.
Good band. Good music.
Yeah.
What do we got next up there, Ivan?
Give me something.
Let's talk about a big one. Juan Soto, the Padres.
Where's he going? I didn't hear. I don't remember. Yeah.
If you guys couldn't tell, Jacob has completely changed his fandom from
Let's
us
go.
Halos over to the way south of California,
Slam Diego.
Slam Diego.
I moved 100 miles south. No, I used to like the Padres when I grew up. I liked. I mean, when I was really young, it was Tony Gwynn, but like Adrian Gonzalez, Trevor Hoffman, Edgar Gonzalez, the brother. Like those teams, I was a fan of, and they were never any good. But we would vacation to San Diego as a cheap vacation. We'd go to San Diego and go to the Padres game because it was $6 to get in. You could bring your own food, and Petco Park is gorgeous. It was gorgeous back then. It's still gorgeous. I'm happy for the Padres. I am. I think they got cocky in 2020 when they were parading in the streets. Remember all that? All the commotion and Padres fans like kind of getting a bad rap. But moving forward, I think they are a force. They can take down the Dodgers. They're the only team in the NL West, I think, that can take down the Dodgers since Tyler's Giants have been subpar this year, and last year was a fluke with 107 wins.
They're still in the wild card race.
What are they,
so
4.5?
Let,
4.5
let me
out?
verify for you because I mean things could they're losing to the Dodgers tonight, which I mean is only fitting with what's going on. But
Well, the Dodgers need to win tonight for Vin.
yeah.
So-
If Giants come back tonight of all nights, then they're assholes.
That sucks. If the Giants come back tonight, that sucks.
So the Giants are 4 games back.
4 games? Okay, so 4 games out. I'm not calling them out. Obviously they're not the same as they were last year. I think the Padres are not going to win the division. They have a chance to get in that first wild card spot, secure the home field advantage for round 1. Right now, I think they'd play Atlanta in Atlanta. I don't like that. I don't think they'd win that. I'm here rocking the jersey. I don't think they would beat Atlanta 2 out of 3 at home for Atlanta. I don't know.
It'd be a real kicker
What's that?
if the series ends with Rysel closing it out.
Rysel closing out the Padres to just crush me completely.
He strikes out Juan Soto for the last out of the series.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah,
Yeah,
Juan
Soto to San
official
Diego.
member of the Padres. I mean, good return on the Nats. I mean, they're rebuilding. They were planning a rebuild anyway. In the past 4 years, they gotten rid of Max Scherzer, Trey Turner. Fucking,
I mean, the Strasburg contract was awful.
he's staying there. Soto now. I want to say that
Kendrick retired. You said Turner.
they got rid of Kurt Suzuki. I mean,
They got rid of all-star catcher Kurt Suzuki. Ivan
Adam
Zamora,
Eaton-
his
Adam
favorite
Eaton took
player.
off.
his favorite
So
catcher on
there's
the
a
team.
lot of guys that are that were part of that World Series winning team that are no longer there.
So a lot of the takes are the Nats fans are fine with the Soto trade because of the 2019 World Series, and I can see that. I can see them saying, yes, this makes the most sense for the time being because he's going to be 24 and he's moving on. He's going to make $500 million. let's just go in the rebuild. We got our World Series in 2019.
Dude, good for Soto though.
Good for Soto.
24 years old.
Yeah.
I think he's 23 actually right now. He will be
I
turning
mean,
24.
that's what I mean.
23.
Moving forward, when
You're
you would
already
sign,
moving on to another team before you even hit free agency. And not only are you moving on to another team, but you're moving on to a contender.
Yep, a contender for years to come, and then he's going to sign a deal for 6 or 7 years,
Insanity.
be 30 years old. So when he turns 30, what's he going to do? Transition from an outfielder to DH, full-time DH for another team for another 5 years? No problem for him.
Insanity.
So, and I don't think a ring is out of the question in the next 5 years in San Diego. I don't think it is. You need to get it before Machado gets too old. Machado is your window, and everyone forgets that he's only 30. He's been in the league for fucking 11 years. So everyone thinks he's, 35, 36. He's just turned 30 this year. So he's got time left. He's a corner infielder. It sucks they had to lose. Who did they lose? C.J. Abrams and Mackenzie Gore.
I got a full list.
Oh,
So
give me the list.
From the Padres, the Nationals received C.J. Abrams, Mackenzie Gore, Robert Hassel III. If there's already two of you, you got to stop at 3, man.
What do you say, junior?
You got to stop at 3. You go beyond that, you're an asshole.
So you think the third is fine?
No.
Oh,
I think if there's 2 of you, you got to stop at 3.
stop at 2. So, stop at 2 then.
Fine, stop at 2.
Okay.
The third is too much.
Okay.
Change the name from Robert to Robbie. Make it slightly different.
Is beef meat? No, sorry. Okay, continue.
Oh, here we go.
Continue. Go.
Here we go. James Wood, not to be confused with James Woods, but James Wood.
Oh,
God damn.
let's not get into that.
Jarlin Susana,
Yeah.
and Luke Voigt. Originally, it was supposed to be Eric Hosmer. Eric Hosmer said, "Fuck you. I'm invoking my no trade clause," which I love the Padres for being like, "Hey, we don't give a shit that you have a no trade clause. We're trading you anyway."
Okay, so then let me ask you this, my first question, because as interesting as all those names are, the one that strikes me is Luke Voigt. Would you rather have Luke Voigt on your team right now or Eric Hosmer?
Luke Voigt. Eric Hosmer can go fuck himself.
That's what I'm saying. So
If I'm the Nationals, I'm like, thank God he invoked his no trade clause.
yeah, oh,
'cause-
if you're the Nats, you'd rather get him back. But I'm saying for San Diego, it's like you'd much rather have Voigt on the bench or at least available.
100%.
I mean,
And now somehow Hosmer's going to Red Sox for I don't know who, but
Red Sox had a horrible month. I loved it, every second of it. We don't have to talk about that now. Josh Bell also going to San Diego, which is, I think, an underrated part of this deal.
such a big pickup
That's a big pickup
for
That's
the
a,
Padres. I
That's
mean,
a
like
postseason bat.
you got Tatis coming back. Your infield consists of Josh Bell, Tatis, and Machado. And I believe you have Cronenworth over at second base. Maybe you could alternate him back and forth with Ha-Seong Kim.
Yep.
Your infield is insane. And then you got Juan Soto in your outfield now. And you have the rotation that you have. And you have Josh Hader, who's also joining the boys down south.
Let's talk about that
in
trade.
San
yeah.
Diego. You have a brand new closer.
What the fuck are the Brewers doing?
Nothing. They don't give a
No, but
I mean,
you're in
Yelich.
first place in your, and I understand they're not a fan of where Hader's at this year, but he's been your guy.
He was doing phenomenal up until the past few games. So I mean, for them to just like completely dismiss. I mean, we did the same thing to Rysel. He like
No,
yes and
Oh,
no, yes and no. Listen.
We're not hearing a
Rysel-
Rysel Hader comparison
Rysel-
here.
His bad stretch extended for an elongated period of time.
Yes.
Would it have come back? I don't know.
Mm.
Did we make the right decision by getting rid of him? Probably.
Yeah.
We saved a lot of money. Josh Hader having a short bad stretch of games, that happens. Normally it happens at the end of the year.
Yeah.
It works out for the Brewers because they were able to get this acquisition from the Padres for a potential better future. You still have Christian Yelich on the team. You have Hunter Renfroe. You got Devin Williams in the back end of the bullpen if you're a Brewers fan.
Yep.
Devin
They're in
Devin
decent
Williams
shape.
can lock it down as long as he's not punching walls when he gets pissed off. But
Chris Sale style.
I think you'll be all right. I think Milwaukee fans will be okay. Whether or not I think you'll be a contender in the playoffs this season, if you are, you're going to get eliminated pretty quick, just like how you have been the past couple years or so. But
Weak Central.
there's the off season, and there's a chance for you to improve then. Devin Williams will be your closer. Maybe go out and get a setup guy. Maybe go out and get a couple better bats in your lineup. Then maybe you can move further in October. But this year, if you do make it to October, it's going to be short-lived.
Good take. All right. Take the next one. I'm going to go to the bathroom.
I'm gonna go after you.
P break. We're
What-
live, folks. This is what happens.
So we covered the Padres acquisitions, Poon. What do we got next?
A lot of trades today. Wow.
We can go through all of them. I mean, start from the bottom of the list because they're all right. So Christian Vasquez, he was the catcher for the Red Sox. He got traded to the Astros while the Red Sox were in town against Houston, which is brutal because Christian Vasquez has been a staple for Red Sox fans for quite a while now, and then you get traded to the team that you're about to play against. And there was an interview where Christian Vasquez was being asked about, hey, how does it feel to be traded to Houston? Like, what are your thoughts? You've been with the team for a long time, dude. You're gonna get teared up. You're gonna get emotional. You're basically gonna be unable to speak to anybody, let alone the media, who's gonna scrutinize and criticize every word that you say. Hats off to whoever the Red Sox team member was that was able to get Christian Vasquez off the field when those questions started coming in, because he did not look ready to talk to anybody, man. He was gutted that he was traded from the Red Sox to the Houston Astros of all teams. So that's just a big kicker in the balls. Yeah. So I mean, he's played against them through all their cheating stuff, and then to get shipped off to the enemy, basically, that's super shitty. I'll let Jacob take the rest of this one because I'm gonna go pee as well.
Vasquez.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, the Red Sox were selling. We kind of knew that. We didn't know that a month ago, but in recent months we did figure that out. Yeah, makes me happy see them do that. We don't know what direction they're headed in. They're kind of like, I don't know. They strike me as the new Seattle, like how it's not shocking that they're in the playoff race, but at the same time, they're not going to do any damage once they get in there. I mean, the Red Sox haven't. I mean, 2018 happened, but since then, the team's changed drastically. You got the Chris Sale stuff going on. He's not in a good place. I think he is coming back. I don't know. I have a question mark there. I don't follow them as closely as I'd like to, despite them being my old enemy. But what do we got next, Ivan?
Red Sox, they also got Tommy Pham. And let's see, Red Sox trade Jake Diekman
Yeah.
to White Sox for Reese McGuire.
So the Tommy Pham stuff, I mean, he's been in the news this year for things other than baseball. Fantasy football comes to mind. The whole feud with him, Jock Peterson, Mike Trout, slap her around the world that wasn't Will Smith. Something to go on. I mean, it's an interesting move. I think it is a future move for the Red Sox. They don't expect to do anything this year. It's kind of a head scratcher in a way. It's like, okay, it's a big league guy going to a big league team. Nothing too crazy. Reese McGuire is interesting for Diekman. I mean, it's just like a straight 1-for-1. I don't know. The Red Sox are the definition of standing still at this deadline because of the last month they've had. If they started off poor, really poor, climbed back in with a really hot streak, and then just fell flat again in the month of July. And that's not the month you want to fall flat in going towards the deadline if you were in it before that. The Angels before July, let's be honest, guys, we knew we weren't going to be involved. We knew that it was going to be a long shot for them to be buyers. And I'm glad they weren't buyers. I mean, the old me would have said, no, just go for it. Now, I'm smart enough to understand it's not the right move. So hopefully the next one's not Boston. Who do we got next?
We were talking about Angels. You want to go over what we got? Or?
Not really, since we already did, but is this an Angel podcast? I don't remember. I guess it is.
Royals acquired Brett Phillips from the Rays.
Brett Phillips, crowd favorite Brett Phillips. Me and Tyler have a special connection with Brett Phillips. We went to a game. It was last season. Brett Phillips was playing. It was against the Rays at Angel Stadium, and he was playing right field. We were behind him, and he does this thing. I mean, he's a character. Everybody knows from the World Series. He was a character. He's a position player that loves to go in and pitch whenever there's an opportunity, if there's a blowout of a game. And he did the whole airplane thing in the World Series 2020 against the Dodgers. Everybody remembers that. But Phillips was playing right field, and in between every pitch, something that he does is like a little quirk or a little habit. He takes his glove off. He takes his glove off his left hand, puts it on his right hand and kind of swirls it around. And this isn't anything out of the ordinary. A lot of players do this, especially in the outfield. I mean, if you ever played outfield in Little League, you know what it's like to chase moths, butterflies, kick the grass, spin the glove on your hand, do all this kind of stuff to pass the time. You know it's boring. Well, we had a right field section. A couple of guys had a few beers. There was a section of dudes yelling at Phillips, giving him shit. They knew he was a character and that he would take it. And they're yelling at Phillips, put your glove on, Phillips. Put your glove on. The ball's coming out here. And there was one pitch where, he kind of got in his ready position before the pitch. He squatted down, but he didn't have his glove on quite yet. And they just kept razzing him for it after and after. I'm talking about the Phillips trade here, Tyler. And I was saying we have a special connection with Mr. Phillips in our visit to right field that one game last year. I remember it was Ohtani against the Rays, and I was like, oh, we're going to have a good game here. I think we ended up losing.
We unfortunately did end up losing. Tyler Glasnow pitched that game before
Was-
he,
yeah,
he,
you're
uh,
right.
he
It
got
was
his Tommy
Glasnow,
John
yeah.
surgery. But
Didn't Yarborough open up?
no, I think
No,
it
it
was
was
Glasnow.
Glasnow. Okay,
I
I
remember
thought-
taking pictures of Glasnow in the outfield.
I
'cause,
thought that was an
I got
opener,
a buddy
though.
who's a big Glasnow fan.
Oh, okay.
But
In the
Brett
bullpen.
Phillips, I mean, it sucks that as a result of the trades that the Rays were making, he had to get DFA'd. He's a great guy, dude. I mean, I read something today where he's a big community guy out there in Tampa Bay. It's his hometown. I guess there was this little girl that had cancer or may currently have cancer or some sort, and Wilson, the glove company, the glove that you got right there, they collaborated with Brett Phillips to help design a glove for her, and she was able to get that glove. And before he left to Baltimore, he stopped by to visit her. And it's like people like that, whether you're a good baseball player or not, like if you're a good person, I think to me that's all that matters at the end of the day. We've had great individuals in the organization of the Angels, and no matter what organization you're in, at the end of the day, if you're a good person, you're all right by me. And Brett Phillips, 2020 World Series, the walk-off win against the Dodgers.
The airplane is what I said.
know exactly where I was. I was in the middle of the casino of New York, and Las Vegas. I saw Brett Phillips doing the airplane, and I airplaned all around that casino because he had just walked off the Dodgers. Me and a couple other folks.
Tyler just lost $14,000 and was airplaning across
Thankfully,
the casino.
thankfully, I don't bet on sports. But it's insane, like how times change. You walk off against the Dodgers in the playoffs, and then you get shipped off to Baltimore. So,
Yeah, it's a
I wish
bummer.
nothing but the best for Brett Phillips.
Me too. I'm a huge fan. He was very entertaining to us fans out there in right field that game. I was a fan of his game.
I remember when there was a beach ball that fell out onto the field, and he was trying to get it back up.
Yep.
He was trying. Eventually, he got it back to the crowd.
The same game as the no hitter. He pitched that game. He gave up the home run to Rendon batting lefty.
I
Dude,
totally
Brett
forgot about
Phillips
that.
has given us so many great memories.
I said at the beginning that he was a position player that loves to pitch, but I did not put two and two together. He was pitching when Rendon hit the lefty home run when we were in attendance. The Reed Detmers no-hitter game back in May. Wow.
Phenomenal.
A lot of good memories with Phillips at the ballpark, so we're going to have to go when he's there again with his new team. I'm up for that.
Absolutely.
And MLB loves him. You mic him up. You do interviews with him. He's one of the best. So shout out to Phillips. Glad you're off the Rays. I hate the Rays, man. I hate the stinky
They'll
Rays.
be back in the playoffs.
I
It's
hate
gonna
those
happen.
smelly Rays.
They're bad
man.
for the sport. but
Yeah, it's bad for the game.
Still is interesting to watch a team that's not spending any money get that far,
Those
and we're not
Moneyball
spending any
fucking
money other
assholes.
than for 2 players currently on our team, and we're not even close to making it.
We're
or
spending
in
on
the
3.
playoff race,
We're
so.
spending. We're gonna spend on
Eventually
3.
it'll be 3, but
Yeah.
currently we're only spending it on 2.
Yeah.
What we got next, Boone?
Yeah, let's move on.
Let's see, we were talking about the Dodgers. Yankees trade Joey Gallo to Dodgers for
Joey Gallo.
Joey Gallo is my favorite name of all
Pico de
time.
Gallo, my guy.
Gallo.
Much like Pico de Gallo, I'm not a huge fan of Joey Gallo.
Pico de Gallo sucks, dude. It's
It's not good. It's too chunky.
Are you a fan of Pico de Gallo?
I like him more than guacamole.
Oh, gee, I wonder why.
Something tells me your opinion matters more than mine, but yeah, I don't know. I like spicier salsa that's a little more like soupy, I don't like the chunky like onions and tomatoes. I'm not a huge fan. Joey Gallo, I'm not a huge fan. Not Joey Gallo.
Joey Gallo. I'm surprised that there was that there was even a deal to be made for Joey Gallo, that he was someone that the Yankees were able to get off their team, because obviously he wasn't going to be sticking around for much longer.
No.
He's having a career worst.
Huge issues.
Basically, like, we got rid of Brandon Marsh, who's batting terribly. We replaced him with Mickey Moniak, who's batting terribly, and now
Yep.
we got another terrible batter in Southern California in Joey Gallo, and it sucks for the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers really thought they were going to get a lot more this trade deadline, and nothing really good happened. And then
Okay.
you cap it off with tonight. I'm not trying to make any jokes about this specific example, but I mean, fuck, dude. Like, you go and get Joey Gallo. What for? Why? Why do you need Joey Gallo?
Are you telling me that Joey Gallo caused this?
No.
Okay.
Castellanos, on the other hand.
There's a fly ball into left center. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Gallo because he strikes out too much, and he doesn't hit home runs anymore. It's that simple.
I mean, hey, all the Dodgers did was make themselves worse.
I was gonna wait till the end on this. Winners and losers of the deadline. The Dodgers are a big loser
yeah,
this deadline.
and
Big
we're
loser.
at the bottom of that too, as far as losers go. Or I guess if we're looking at it as losers, we're at the top of the losers.
No, I don't think so.
We're
I don't think
we're the
so.
worst losers in this trade
No.
deadline.
You think we're the worst team this trade deadline?
Dude, you know what? Like,
I don't
again,
think so.
Again, like it took me.
I
a
have
little,
a team in mind.
It took me a little bit to like fully digest what went down with these trades. At the end of the day, it made sense why we did what we did.
Right.
And the thing that sucks, the thing that I hate, is that we've acknowledged that nothing's gonna happen for the rest of the year. And if that's the case, why is Mike Trout gonna come back?
This year and maybe next year. And that's my problem, is if nothing happens next year, then you have a guy named Otani walking out the door.
I have
So
zero expectations, and Otani walking out the door. I hate.
then we should have traded him this year
I
and got
hate for it
maximum
to have.
value.
We can get maximum value in the offseason.
Oh my God.
We can get maximum value at any point.
Let me get off this because we have all off season to discuss that. We'll get to winners and losers, and then we do need to get to some more moves. Ivan, I will get back to you.
Alright, let's see another Dodger trade. Jake Lamb.
We said we will get back to
No,
you.
we'll get back to him now.
motherfucker.
Get back to him now. Yeah. Good move. Talking to the mic. Going to the mic.
Jake Lamb from Dodgers to Mariners also.
Fuck the
also
Mariners.
got,
There we go.
they also got Kirk Casale, Matt Boyd.
Okay, so I can speak on those.
I mean, their big move was somebody else, but yeah.
Yeah. So Kirk Casale, formerly the personal catcher of Yu Darvish out in Chicago, was traded to the Padres to be with Yu Darvish at the time that he was traded to the Padres, and then eventually they were like, "We don't care that you have a personal catcher. We're shipping off to wherever he's going." And he did end up with the Giants, and now where's he going in, Ivan?
Seattle.
Kirk Casale, Seattle.
Seattle.
Yes.
Poor guy. That's a damn shame. Matt Boyd going to the Mariners as well from the Giants, and then Jake Lamb from the Dodgers. I believe Jake Lamb used to be a Diamondback, but I don't know for certain. It
Yeah.
sounds like a name
You're
that
right,
used to be
yeah.
on the Diamondbacks, but
Yeah.
so he's sticking around in the AL West, and then Philly's getting Noah Syndergaard. Let's go into the details of that. So what did we get in exchange for Noah Syndergaard?
Mickey Moniak and prospect Javier Sanchez.
All right.
Even
Prospects is fine, but Mickey Moniak batting under 200, slashing under 200.
he's an angel already.
He fits right in. We got rid of a guy who strikes out a shit ton to another guy who strikes out a shit ton, except the current guy that we had that strikes out a shit ton was at least 24, maybe turning 25, and Mickey Moniak has been in the league for quite some time.
So, my question with all this is, with the Syndergaard move and with all these moves, are the Angels front office guys? Is it Perry Manazian sitting there, like Brad Pitt and Moneyball, at the table, and there's 14 other gentlemen at the table advising the opposite of what he's suggesting? And maybe he's got a Pete with him. Maybe he's got a Jonah Hill with him at the table. I don't know. Maybe there's some young guy that Perry trusts to do his math for him. But are there guys looking at the moves that they're making and shaking their head saying this is not right? We were going in a direction, or is Artie just kind of calling all the shots, being the puppeteer from the top? I mean, we saw in the Syndergaard move, 2 of the 3 offers Artie Moreno personally turned down. He personally said, no, we're not going to take this. I think it was from Toronto and New York Yankees. I think it was Toronto and somebody else, and it ultimately being Philly. But I don't know. I
Artie
feel like
is notorious for being a meddler
Mm.
in regards to deals that his GMs try to make. So I wouldn't put it past him to let Perry know, hey, these wild and out there deals that may seem wild to Artie, that wouldn't necessarily seem wild to a casual baseball fan, are being completely denied without any consideration whatsoever. So, I mean, the same thing happened with Billy Epler, and then Billy Epler goes to the Mets and has all the power to do whatever he wants, and he goes out and gets Max Scherzer. He locks in Lindor. The Mets are insane. The Mets are absolutely insane.
You think the Mets are going to go far in the playoffs?
Look, I know it's fun to joke about the Mets. I know it's fun to make fun of the Mets. I think it's funny to make fun of them. It's hilarious. There's a chance that they are contending in the playoffs. Whether or not they will succeed in the playoffs is yet to be determined, but I do think they have a good chance. Edwin Diaz, their closer, is the best closer in the league right now. Originally, there was a guy in the Bronx named Clay Holmes who was doing fantastic, but he's been having some struggles as of late, and Edwin Diaz has not.
No, man. Aroldis Chapman is the closer in New York.
He's done. He's done.
Hey, this guy has struck out. Getting interviewed on the Azel game. That's cool.
Speaking of the Mets acquired Michael Givens from the Cubs.
All right, he's a relief pitcher. So that's more depth to add to Diaz in the back end of the bullpen. There was another trade right there,
Yeah.
Poon, that you just scrolled past on. I want to talk about it real quick. The Yankees trading Jordan Montgomery.
Very interesting move.
That one.
That one kind of shocked me.
I mean, I'm a little upset about that because I have Jordan Montgomery on my fantasy team.
You have a Yankee on your fantasy team?
I have a Yankee on my fantasy team. I
Sir.
have 2 Yankees actually.
Let me guess the other one.
All right.
I hope it's Aaron Judge. Is it not?
I wish it was, but no, it's
Oh,
not.
bummer.
It's Clay Holmes.
Well, that's who you're about to speak on. And,
Yeah.
you know, he's been kind of regressing a little bit, whatever the word is.
Still has
Falling
under 2
back.
ERA. He's
Yeah,
doing
he's still killing
fantastic
it.
no matter what.
He's
But,
still killing it.
Jordan Montgomery to the Cardinals. He was blindsided from it in interviews that he's had since the trade was announced. He's gutted. He grew up with the Yankees. He's played with all those guys for a really long time. I didn't think that they'd even entertain the idea of trading him because he's just been so good.
I thought they'd
they
want
do
2 lefties in the rotation.
Yeah,
You know, Nesser and him.
and
But-
like they just do really bad when he's on the mound as far as offense goes. But he delivers quality start after quality start after quality start. He will allow at most 3 runs a game through 6 innings.
Yeah.
And when he's really on, he'll go 7 innings and allow less than that.
Lefties are underrated in the rotation anyway. So you add that in with Cortez being as good as he's been. I mean, he's kind of taken a step back, but yeah, it's kind of confusing to me. I guess they're content with Severino and, you know, the rest of their starters.
I mean, it's weird because Severino is injured currently, so I
I
would
think he's coming back.
he's
before
on
the end
on
now.
the mend, but
Yeah.
it's just weird. Like you would think that you'd want to keep one of your most
Don't
consistent
worry,
pitchers
he's coming back.
who stays healthy. You know, they do get Harrison Bader from the Cardinals in exchange,
Big
so
move. Yeah.
they get rid of Gallo. They get Harrison Bader, great defensively, decent
Benintendi.
bat.
Benintendi.
And they have Benintendi now. So you have a big depth in your outfield with Judge. I know Giancarlo Stanton's on the IL right now with an Achilles issue, but I'm sure
He'll be
he'll be
back.
back pretty soon.
Hey, my thing with that, he doesn't even use his legs to swing. So why is an Achilles thing an issue for his bat? Get him in at DH, man. He's all arms, upper body. We all know he doesn't step when he swings. Let's go.
We should start a Yankees podcast.
Ivan?
Uh,
He's not in yet. He's not
Talking
in yet.
Bombers.
Man.
let's go over another Yankees trade right here.
Okay.
They also got Frankie Montas and
Yes,
Oh,
they
man.
did.
Yeah,
Yes,
That
sir.
was the original trade.
Out of the AL West are Montes and Trevino. We love that from an Angels fan perspective.
Good
we
for
love
us.
That. Yes.
If you're not a fan of the Yankees, and I mean, they didn't need to go and get these guys to be contenders in the playoffs. They were going to be in the playoffs no matter what. I think now they have a chance to win or to break the single season win record in the regular season. There's a chance.
Seattle
First to
2001,
70,
man.
first
I
to
don't know.
70. Dude, they've
Let me-
bolstered up their club.
Let's do a trivia question. Ivan, do you know the most wins by a team in a single season? When it was and who it was? It might shock you who it was. It was the Seattle Mariners. In 2001, they won 116 games, which is the most wins in a single season. And it was also the last time they made the playoffs. So that's kind of funny. But it looks like this year is the year. The point is, he's saying the Yankees could break that record. They are at 70 wins already at the trade deadline, which puts them at about a pace of 110, if I believe, if I'm correct, because I know it's not exactly halfway.
Yeah.
So if it was halfway, it'd be about 114.
Yeah,
or
they're on
something.
pace for over 100 wins. Judge is on pace for over 60 home runs.
67, I believe.
They're
Not
on-
that I know.
They're on pace to win the World Series. I'm fine with it, dude. Just give it to them already. Like,
I'm wearing a Padres jersey. We all know who my second team is. It's okay.
I mean, hey, you got the big three now. You got Machado, you got Tatis, and you got
Dude.
Juan Soto.
You got the meat of the lineup of Team Dominican Republic in the World Baseball Classic on the San Diego
Yep.
Padres.
They re-signed Joe Musgrove to a 5-year,
extension.
$100 million extension.
The rotation looks good. They got Hader in the bullpen now. I think this team is all go, man. I think they go head-to-head right now with the Dodgers. I
You got
really
Bob
do.
Melvin at the helm. I mean,
Great
the
pickup.
Dodgers got to look out. They lost out on the deadline. They could have done better. They went and got Joey Gallo. And it'll be hilarious when Joey Gallo is the final strikeout to end the year.
It's funny because he's going from like the biggest media in Major League Baseball to the second biggest media in Major League Baseball.
They'll be a bit nicer to him out here in LA.
Probably. And and he can grow the beard back, which
Yeah.
is to me the biggest thing. Gallo without the beard, let's go, man. That's atrocious. He looks like Guru from Minions. Steve Carell's character in Minions with that nose. Get the beard back, man. Gallo in Texas scares me as an Angel fan, but I was a fan of him there, not so much in the Bronx. I know last year towards the end he had some home runs. And you think it would make sense with that short porch. I mean, you think it would make sense.
It
Right
made all the
field.
sense in the world for them to keep Rizzo, to get Gallo, and
I think
now
keeping Rizzo was their move over getting Olsen or
they should have
Freeman.
went after Olsen, man.
no. I don't
Olsen,
think so.
20 plus home runs already this year.
No, I think they're fine with Rizzo. I think they're fine. Come playoffs, he's got the experience. I mean, so does Olsen. They both
Boston
World
should have
Series
went
champions.
after Rizzo.
I saw that more than anything. I did see that.
That's what should have happened.
But
And
then again,
when
now,
the Yankees did re-sign Rizzo, they were all crying,
yeah,
being like, "I can't believe he signed Anthony Rizzo," and then he ended up being the home run leader for the first month and a half of the season.
and the whole Italian thing was a factor. Like, well, Gallo was part of that too, but now obviously it didn't work out. Boston having Rizzo now would be a disaster if they're not going to make it this year. You know what I mean? Because he's getting older. He's in his 30s now, so next year you go. It's like if you're rebuilding in Boston, which they don't like to admit anyway. But all right, we can move on from the Yankees, Boston, East Coast bullshit. Let's go, Ivan. What do we got? Oh, that's fine. Central. We need some Central talk. Okay.
All right, he's a reliever from the Orioles. Been doing phenomenal this year. Tyler Malley from the
Malley.
Reds.
Yeah.
That's a great trade.
Mr. Malley.
I mean, with the White Sox kind of falling off,
Dude,
a
let's
lot
talk about
sooner than
that.
we expected. I mean,
What the fuck?
there's
They
no
never
reason
got-
why the White Sox should be as bad as they are.
They never got going.
The Twins shouldn't
Never
be
got
as good
going.
as they are, but here we are. And now they go out and get Jorge Lopez to bolster the back end of the bullpen, and they get Tyler Malley, who's a quality arm in the starting rotation. I think Twins are in the playoffs this year. I don't think they'll be advancing pretty far in the playoffs, but
First round bounce.
they will be in the playoffs, and that's a good step in the right direction for those out there in the Twin Cities.
As Angel fans, we can't talk smack on the Twins method, but the Twins method is get in the playoffs and get bounced the first round. That's what happens.
Michael Fulmer, all right, former Tiger.
I saw Syndergaard going to the Twins. That was the
Really?
move I saw. They took Bundy. Like, they take these second-rate starters that are like, yeah, they might be okay. They might bounce back. I saw Syndergaard going there. Philly, I guess, is kind of the same thing. I know that
I didn't see him going to Philly though. I didn't think that they'd have
I
a
didn't-
need for Syndergaard.
No, I mean they need starting pitching, but that's why I didn't think they'd go after Syndergaard. If that makes sense. I mean, I don't know. I guess
Maybe they
it's
know
kind of-
something we don't, man. Maybe they'll figure it out. Watch him have one of the best second halves since CC Sabathia.
Well, something that nothing or nobody is talking about is he's going back to the same division.
it's true.
Is that not an issue with the Braves and with the Marlins?
It could be a
and with-
good thing. And there's new guys
I
in the
guess.
division now that weren't there when he stopped pitching there. So
I don't know. I was
there's
gonna
a
laugh
chance
my
it's
ass off.
similar.
If he went to the Yankees, I was gonna laugh for two reasons. One, he'd have to cut his hair. Two, he hated the New York media more than anything. He talked shit on New York from here to high heaven. Okay, Queens and Bronx, how different are they? You know, so
Yeah.
yeah. We can move on. Twins, kind of boring. Not going to do anything in the playoffs. White Sox are shocking. Let's talk about the Blue Jays. Yeah.
Blue Jays get two relievers who are Anthony Bass and Zach Pop from the Marlins.
Okay.
Anytime you get Marlins
Who?
pitching, it's a good thing.
Didn't they trade, or I don't know if you'll see it on there, but didn't they traded Jordan Groshans for somebody? Jordan Groshans was one of their top shortstop prospects, so that's very interesting that they made that trade went down, considering the Marlins aren't looking to do anything with their franchise. And
What are they
that's
doing?
part of the reason why
Let's-
Derek Jeter left.
Let's go there for 1 second. What are they doing? Jeter left because they weren't going to spend money. Is that the deal? So now they're
But
like,
they have a really great starting rotation. They have
they have the best pitcher in
Sandy
the National
Alcantara.
League. Best pitcher in the league?
they have Pablo Lopez, Sandy Alcantara, absolutely.
Alcantara's the best pitcher in the league.
They
Yeah.
have Pablo Lopez, who's phenomenal. They got Jesus Luzardo.
Who's good.
Just that big three right there is fantastic. I can't speak for the rest of the team. You know, you got Jazz Chisholm over there, and
He's out. Yeah.
you know, but
They're in a tough
They're gonna
division.
get Jordan Groshans. That's great. I mean, that's great for the organization. You know, you got a future coming. By the time that Groshans is ready to compete, maybe you guys will make some acquisitions here and there at future trade deadlines or in the off season, and you will have your veteran Sandy Alcantara as your ace. You'll have Pablo Lopez, who is also a veteran, but he'll be more, you know, he'll have had more experience under his belt. And then Jesus Luzardo will also have some experience under his belt because he's also very young. High strikeout rate for him, but he needs to get his control figured out. So what's next on the docket
Yeah,
here?
let's keep rolling.
Not sure if you remember this one. The Blue Jays also got Mitchell White from the Dodgers.
Who?
Mitchell White.
No, I'm joking with you. man.
Yeah. Major what?
Mitchell White. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, keep rolling.
Are sending Darren Roof.
Oh, Darren Ruff. Okay, it's been there for a while. I'm surprised
Yeah.
that trade happened.
The Mets are just stacking up. They think they're
Yeah.
poised.
Giants are out of it. It's weird because they kept Rodon.
Mark
they
it down,
kept Jock
folks.
Peterson.
Yeah, that was weird to me.
Two big pieces that they could use to rebuild.
What
But
was that about?
again, maybe the reason why they're keeping those guys is because they're only 4 games out of the wild card. They're
Yeah.
still in contention.
They have a
whereas
shot.
We're in a complete tank mode.
They have a legitimate shot, but I don't know. Yeah, keep moving.
That's what, did we talk about Josh Hader already?
Yes.
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 Yankees acquire Scott Efros from the Cubs.
Yeah, bullpen help. They're just getting deeper and deeper.
They've lo-
Yankees are poised for a run.
They lost an arm. I forget who specifically. It was either Chad Green or somebody. They threw a pitch and their arm was just completely destroyed.
I think it
and
was. Yeah, I think you're right.
So unfortunately, and they were having a great season too up until that point. So they needed to get some reinforcements there in the bullpen.
Yeah, Reds get Austin Romine from the Cardinals.
Okay.
I mean, taking them from us here at the Angels directly.
I mean, I think the Cardinals will be a force to reckon with out
They're
there
my-
in the NL.
They're one of my losing teams at the deadline, though. I mean, they missed out on Soto. I think, first of all, if Soto had the choice of San Diego or St. Louis, he's going to San Diego. I don't care who you are. He's going to San Diego. Strikes me as that type of guy.
I mean, you look at the package that was given to Washington for Soto, and
Yeah.
it makes sense. I obviously, I'm sure the Cardinals have great players as well, but
Mm.
just looking at that San Diego return is more than enough convincing for me to believe that it makes sense for this deal to go through with San Diego.
That's what I wanted to mention also about, just to go back a little bit to the Montas Yankees trade and the Castillo Seattle trade. What Seattle gave up for Castillo, I think a lot of Yankee fans are glad they didn't give up for Castillo and they got Montas instead, because it was a big difference. I think that's something that's not talked about with San Diego is we said it earlier, C.J. Abrams and Mackenzie
Mackenzie Gore.
Mackenzie Gore.
There's other individuals in there.
Yeah, but those are
they'll
the
be more
big
popular
two.
later on. And
I mean, 2 years from now, I think both those guys are going off.
Washington could be back in the playoffs in the next few years with the return that they got.
Get an old Strasburg in there, a 35-year-old Strasburg dealing, like a Verlander style this year.
Get a second Tommy John, get your brand new arm, come back, pitch another 15 years, you'll be golden.
Howie Kendrick, first base coach.
There you go.
Let's go.
We're talking big stuff.
All right, a couple
here.
more here. Let's go. Couple more.
I feel like we might have talked about everything.
We
though.
pretty much got everything. Let's just.
Quintana to the Cardinals.
Yeah,
That
Quintana.
was a big passing bomb.
Wow,
The biggest
Cardinals.
passing bomb of the
Wow.
deadline, guys. Jose
Passing.
Quintana to the Cardinals.
Angels legend to the Cardinals. Wearing red once
His
again.
left hand, numb as can be, pitching for the Cardinals now. Love
Stay
to see
away
it,
from
man.
those knives, baby. Stay away from those knives.
You know what's weird though about Jose Quintana? He was actually having a decent year out there in Pittsburgh.
He was, yeah. Kind of under the radar.
He was under
Nobody
the radar.
talks about
there,
it.
There was potential for him to be an all-star. Kind of fell off towards right before the all-star break, so maybe that eliminated his chances.
Hey,
but
pitchers
it
have
was
good
enough
luck
for him
there.
to get traded to St. Louis.
Yeah.
So
Pitchers have good luck in Pittsburgh. And also, you're right. Being traded to the same division, that's something. That's saying, like, you know what, we don't care. We're not contending. So Cardinals can make a push. I'm liking the Cardinals more than the Brewers right now. I'll say that for the NL Central.
Absolutely.
Brewers are kind of underwhelming me. They didn't go out and get a bat. I thought they would go out and get a bat. They didn't do it. A lefty bat in particular. They didn't do it. Anything else, Ivan, producer? Keep rolling on the. Eesh, Let's go a few more.
I got nothing going on.
Let's see, here's a couple acquisitions for the Mets. Michael Perez and Daniel Vogelbach.
Vogelbach, the
Ooh.
big boy. Yeah.
That guy's on roids.
He
He's
has to be on
gotta
roids
be
or
on
Big
roids.
Macs.
Something.
Could be Big Macs.
Something. He's a thick boy.
It's a big boy.
Another one for the Mets. Tyler Naquin and
Naquin.
Naquin, yeah.
you should be reading off.
No, you got it. You're gonna get it.
Philip-
Oh shit.
Yeah, here's a tough one from me. Philip is a dial or deal?
What'd you call me? No.
What'd you-
I don't know his name, but that sounds right.
Yeah.
Castillo to the Mariners. We gotta. That happened last week. I mean, we're fucked. We're fucked. That's all there is
Yep.
to say. The Angels were nonstop hoping that Castillo would come over to Southern California, but he's
We
going
wanted
up
that
north to
move.
Washington.
We wanted that move in the off season, and we ended up with Syndergaard and Lorenzen. I'm a fan of Castillo. I think he's better than the numbers show in Cincinnati. It's kind of a hitter's ballpark and
I'll
a
tell you
shitty
this, man.
defense.
I'll tell you this: even if he came here, he would have ended up like Syndergaard and Lorenzen.
I agree.
It-
I agree. But he's going to
it-
go to Seattle and hopefully for our sake do the same thing. I mean, I don't know about you, but even if Seattle makes the playoffs and it's a crazy story, first time in 21 years, all that, I am rooting against them till the day I
Oh,
die.
yeah,
I'm
and,
rooting
like,
against them all the way.
I'll also say this: Seattle's making the playoffs this year. It's gonna happen. I hate to say it, especially.
So then they get bounced in the first round.
and yeah, they'll get bounced in the first round, but that's better than what we can say.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. What else we got?
Royals trade Emmanuel Rivera to Diamondbacks.
Who? No, I'm just kidding. That's cool.
Royals and Diamondbacks trade next.
Did we go over this? Brewers acquired Matt Bush from the Rangers.
Bush.
Bush.
I heard you love Bush.
George Bush. Hiding in the bushes. How about that?
I feel like that's all of them, Ivan.
That's all the big moves, I think. I mean,
Yeah, the rest, I think everyone's kind of like, who gives a fuck? But unless you see any other names that catch your eye,
the point is, I mean, Rysel, Marsh, Thor,
Oh
gone.
yeah, who did we get for Rysel?
It says it right there, doesn't it?
It's just put a question out there first before I answered it.
He's testing us.
Okay,
He's
I'll
a
answer the
true
question.
producer at this point.
Tucker Davis and Jesse Chop.
Tucker, sir.
Indeed.
Jesse Chavez, on our Instagram story, go check it out. We posted a close up.
Welcome back. Welcome back. He's been in Halo before. He's back at it again. God
if
damn.
you look up Angels baseball player in the dictionary, I think you may see Jesse Chavez in his glasses. I think you might see that.
This team's so fucking bad. This team is so fucking bad.
Shout out to Shorzy for commenting on our team. Thank you. Yeah, I know. It's got to be till next year just to get through. Put him out there instead of a position player. Take the glasses off if you can.
We get some prospects. I mean, hopefully they come to fruition. The thing that I don't like about prospects is that sometimes they don't work out. You look at Joe Dell as a prime example.
More than 50% of the time. they don't
And
work
now
out.
he's getting regular playing time, so that's a goddamn shame. Ivan, let's transition over to the YouTube chat. I think we got some people chatting up in there. Any
We have any
questions or
questions?
comments or concerns?
Let's take a look. Let's see. Okay, so Gabe the Goat says, I feel like we had to be sellers, but I'm happy that we got rid of Iglesias' contract. And Perry said he knows he needs to build a better team.
Yeah, so I mean, that's again all these trades. While my initial reaction was anger, you look back at them and they make sense. You get
Yeah.
rid of Marsh, who wasn't great offensively as you compare him to his defense,
Stop.
but you get a top 100 prospect and a catcher, and as you all know, our catching depth is terrible. And this new catcher, Logan Opal, I believe, or Opele or something like that, he's now our number one prospect in the minor league. So that's a good thing. So
The catcher, yeah.
yeah, and then we
Above Sam Backman.
we get rid
Bachman.
of Noah Syndergaard's contract and Raisel Iglesias' contract. So we're saving about $58 million in that range. Whether or not Perry will use that wisely or Artie will let him use that wisely is yet to be determined. So that's why I'm not happy necessarily that we're saving that money.
You mean total? right?
Exactly.
Okay, yeah. Thor, I get because he's up this year. Rysel, it's like, okay, you signed him for 3 years. You had faith in him. Now you don't. Fine with me because I don't. Just be honest.
Same boat.
So, yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Who said that? Let's give a shout
Gabe
out
the
there.
Goat.
Gabe the Goat. Yeah, that's a good name.
What a goat.
Gabe.
Jacob, it looks like you got a hater today.
Oh.
Baseball Toss says that you're a bandwagoner.
Oh. This guy, the Chicago White Sox
Yeah.
fan, he's mad because we were talking shit on Chicago White Sox and pumping up the Twins a little bit. No, I'm happy for the Padres, man. I'm happy they got their guy. Like, you know, I don't want to call them a small market team, but a small team as far as the recognition in the last 20 years in the major leagues. I mean, it'd be like
They've been small market.
I mean, it's a big market as far as the city, but as far as their spending and things like that, yeah, it's been a smaller market. I'm happy they got their guy. They got 3 huge Dominican bats now. I've had this since like 2008 or something, man. Like, I don't know. Bandwagon, I'm not a huge Padre fan. I'll jump on their bandwagon. Before the White Sox, yes, thank you very much. We talked about them earlier, 2005. I don't know.
I'm going to move to Chicago one day.
He's moving to Chicago. I'm going to have to go to Sox games and Cubs games, both. So, no, but shout out to you. Thanks for checking in. You can call me that. That's fine. I can handle it.
NMR Sports says go Padres. Can imagine like a boring team like the Angels.
Shout out.
Shout out to Nolan, man.
Yeah.
He's a goat.
Thanks for coming through. Padres are exciting. You have to admit. You got to admit.
Facts. Well, hey, thanks to everybody who came through and dropped a message in the chat. You guys are legends. We did everything that we could to talk about what went down this trade deadline. I'm sure there's a lot of other people that you could have heard talk about it, but thank you for coming and listening to us talk about it. It's our 50th episode, by the way, celebrating 50 episodes of Mike at the Halo.
Yep.
Never thought we'd make it this far. Jacob mentioned at the beginning when we started that apparently the average amount of episodes per podcast or that a podcast has is 8. And we
7.
exceeded that. Oh, 7.
8 would have succeeded that. Yeah. So
we're way above that average margin, and we plan on continuing it. So
I mean, we're a season and a half in now, give or take a few episodes. we're hoping the end of this year we can find things to talk about with other teams. I mean, you guys are going to have to bear with us talking about other teams because the Angels are being the Angels. And then next year we hope to push on and, be even stronger into the Angels, and hopefully they do the right things to get in a position to make the playoffs. I mean, with the players they have at hand, it needs to happen. We all know that. But for now, we're going to jump on some bandwagon teams for the playoffs and just enjoy. It is nice to kind of enjoy from an objective perspective, not have to have your heart and soul in the playoffs. Although we don't know what that has felt like for quite some time. So we'd probably
Maybe
take
we'll
that.
get to that feeling one day. But thank you guys for sticking with us. I
Yep.
mean, this really can't happen without all you listening. Make sure you guys go and check us out on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. If you like us being on YouTube Live and stuff, seeing our videos and shit, let us know. We'd be more than happy to do this more often, especially now that we got a producer here in
We're
the
kind of
corner.
late. We want to admit we're kind of late on the trade deadline. We would have liked to have gone live during the deadline today at 3 or 6 if you're Eastern time, but it's kind of late getting to it, recapping everything. We'll be back next week and continue on with the depressing Angels commentary.
Normally, we end off the podcast with a former Victor Rojas quote and then something that Gibby would say. But I feel like tonight it's fitting since Vince Scully passed away that we end it with a little Vince Scully quote. And I think Jacob can take it away here.
We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Let's go.
R.I.P. Vin.
So Ivan, here's what you're gonna do. You see the thing in the bottom right corner there that looks like a circle all the way down
The
to the bottom? You're gonna
circle.
click that, and then you see where it says stop streaming. So right when I'm done saying this, you can press that button. All right. Again, thank you guys for joining us. Mic that baby up. Light that baby up. Big fly.
Absolutely R.I.P. Vin Scully.